Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, we're 100% live right here on YouTube Live. And for those of you that are not watching us on YouTube, of course, we're here on Roku and Fire TV via PodNation TV. And Jeff Porrini, he's back this week as my co-host. And we are joined by the lovely Adaline Star. Adaline, how you doing?
Hola, hola. How are you?
Good. So, of course, Thanksgiving was this week. So, how was your Thanksgiving? Was there anything productive that happened? Did anything go haywire? Hopefully you didn't deep fry a turkey, because that always goes fucking terribly when people do that. So how was your Thanksgiving vacation?
My Thanksgiving vacation was really good. No deep frying of the turkey. We just we just enjoyed regular food, I guess. Half of my family is vegan and the other half is not vegan. So it's pretty nice. We got to have a variety of options, but there was no frying of the turkey. What actually caught fire was somehow the brisket on my uncle's grill caught fire. I don't know what happened. But apparently I called my grandma, my granny. I told granny, I was like, it's okay. I don't mind like a little bit of char grilled, like brisket. Like we're from Texas, so it's fine,
Nice.
It's a little char grilled.
Nice.
And then so I'm cutting into it, right? And I was the first one to like cut into the fresh brisket, first one to make the plate or whatever. And I was like, oh, I told my uncle, I was like, oh, uncle, this is super tender. And then he was like, shut up. And so I was like, is that like, is that an insult to the brisket? Was it not supposed to have, because it was so like, it was almost like a pot roast is how tender
really?
that meat was. And so
that's starting to turn me on how tender that
right.
meat. Yeah, you can always go for some tender meat. That's just like, especially like so you're from Texas, so you're all about like brisket and all that kind of stuff up there. Like barbecue out that way is phenomenal compared to what barbecue is here in Maryland or where Jeff is in Philadelphia.
No way.
Where we're known for crab cakes and he's known for cheesesteaks where he's at. Like, so, but no, barbecue up there is definitely A plus. Now, when you do Thanksgiving, do you wake up, and of course it's a tradition playing in the background in my household, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Do you watch that in the background when you're doing it?
Yes, actually, I have some words about this.
Okay, let her rip. What do you got? What?
Got to get real.
I guess we usually do. I don't know. I don't really pay too much attention, but this time I actually did pay attention because I fractured my foot.
No.
So I'm a little bit more sedentary and not as active. So I had no choice but to sit there and watch the parade with my grandma and my mom. And which I'm thankful for. That's fine. But so we're sitting there and we're watching it, and they're showing all these floats going by. But the camera person kept zooming in on the people on the floats. And I was like,
I want to see the balloons.
Yeah, and then it showed these people who are standing in these like window seals that weren't supposed to be stood on, but they were so deep into the building that people were standing on them. They just opened their window and stand and watch the parade go by. And the camera person again like just zoomed in on these people and then showed them for a solid like minute. and we missed like half a float. And then they keep zooming in on people, and I'm like, look, whoever's doing this is a terrible camera person. Like, whoever this is just more focused on who's on the float than the float itself. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care about who's on it. I want to see what it looks like. And so I asked my grandma, I said, Granny, who is like, where are you live streaming this, right? Because first of all, I don't trust my grandma to watch a live stream on YouTube. Like, God knows what she pulled up.
Hopefully she's not watching this one.
Hi, Grandma.
Right?
Hi, Granny.
Hi, Granny. But so I was like, Granny, who is this from? And they were like, Associated Press. And I was like, oh, like, okay. And I didn't know that was the name. I thought it was just someone who's associated with the press. And I was like, they're just doing, I can tell, like, they're terrible. And then, she's like, no, mija. I'm Mexican. So she says, no, mija. It's called Associated Press. And I was like, oh, I thought you just meant like it's someone associated with the press. So it was like this whole ordeal. And so I will not be watching that particular live stream again, because it's like, I want to see the floats, not the people standing in the window seals.
It's gotten so worse over the last couple of years. And I mean, we saw about 30 minutes of it on DVR at my wife's aunt and uncle's house. We go there every year, and we call part of it there. And that's why I stopped watching, because like me growing up, like as a kid, like I liked seeing Ronald McDonald. I liked seeing, Clifford the Big Red Dog. I liked seeing the balloons. I could have gave a fuck about the performances, and every performance is just so terribly lip synced. Just so terribly lip synced. And it's just like I thought Keenan and Kel, that, like, I saw the part when they showed like Keenan and Kel or whatever for Good Burger. I thought that was like one of the highlights for me. I was like, oh shit, because my age group, I'm like, oh shit, all that Keenan and Kel, Burger. But so with that, now of course they had a Luffy from One Piece. They had a balloon from One Piece on there, and his hat was deflated. It looked kind of weird. And it's like, okay, so last week we did a deep dive on the show of Macy's Thanksgiving Parade tragedies. And, these balloons, now, mind you, they're dragging these fucking balloons down like these public streets and all that shit in New York with lampposts, trees, all that shit. So they're getting caught. They're having arms ripped off. We did the story last week of a Cat in the Hat knocking over a lamppost and sending a woman to the hospital because she got knocked into a coma by the lamppost.
Oh, so I'm laughing at them.
Yeah. And so the thing is I think the most infamous one was 97. November of 97, they had a 40-mile-an-hour windstorm. And that sent all this into a frenzy. Have you ever seen the video of Barney being absolutely just mangled? That was from 97. So that wasn't the only one. There were a total of, I think, 14 balloons that went down that year. And one of them was the Pink Panther, and he hit a tree. And when he went down on the people controlling him, and they got stuck under. So imagine that's how you die. Like the Pink Panther balloon just comes down on top of you and suffocates you. Like, I feel like while these people were trying to fight their way out, they should have played the Pink Panther music as they're like trying to get out from this float or whatever. Like, so now with the parade, all the ones that do you have like a favorite balloon or anything like that went down?
Honestly, no, because it's always just playing in the background, and I never sat there and watched
She doesn't watch
this year. Like this
was stuck this year, but she doesn't watch.
My first year sitting down and actually watching it. So I just saw people in window seals, and
you're just like, I've had enough. God damn it with the Associated Press. I don't want any more of this. Oh man. So like I don't know what it is and where that went. Like, and me, like, and it's kind of on the same token as New Year's Eve. Like, I can't sit there and stand there that long in the cold just to watch this parade. I barely go to local parades. Like, I can't. And like, you're sitting there peeing in like bottles in your pockets and stuff, because if you leave, you're never getting your spot back. And I'm just like, nope. And I may be murdered by a balloon that goes astray. So like that's just the whole thing. But yeah, it's completely insane. So Adaline, of course, you were in the adult industry. So one of my favorite questions to a lot of the stars, and I see everybody in the stream on live. Make sure you keep on commenting. I will get to the comments and the questions, so be sure to interact with myself, Jeff, and Adaline while we're here live. What have you had any injuries in the adult industry so far? And it varies. Some people have none. Some people have these crazy injuries they've gotten from the industry.
You are obsessed with industry injury.
I would have to say no. I don't have any. Sadly, sorry.
I think some of the worst that I've heard are dick breaking. Like when someone breaks their dick. Like that's
God.
Just
why make me cringe?
Yeah. And then of course I noticed earlier online, like you were talking about porn titles, and it's true. Like porn titles are like some of the like weird, like some of the craziest, most cheesy, but then yet like the titles don't need to make sense titles at all. Like what was it that, do you remember what it was that you said on I think it was Twitter or whatever earlier? You're like, this porn title, blah,
Yes.
blah.
I can pull it up for you. Let's
Atta
see.
girl.
You comment on, and you were like, this is a lot to oh wait, that was the other post too. But okay, let's see. This had been sitting in my drafts for it had been sitting in my drafts for quite some, like I'd say maybe about a week, and I was like, I don't want directors or whoever's creating these titles to think I'm talking shit. It's more so it's just hilarious. And so it was very like, for me, I'm very tailored to what I put online, and I try to be careful and sensitive and things like that. So I was like, you know what, like, it's funny, let's just put it out there. And sure enough, everyone was like, yeah, this is accurate AF. And so my tweet was, porn titles be like, I caught my stepmom fucking the neighbor's postman's step cousin.
Wow.
And because it gets so elaborate, and you're trying to like connect the dots while you're reading the title, and you're just like, this is so much. So yeah.
See, here's the thing. Someone like me, I read the title, I'm not trying to connect the dots. I'm just pressing play. I'm just like, need to see where this goes. Like, I'm in. And like, it's funny because I just looked up like some of the weirdest porn titles or whatever on here. And so funniest porn titles. One is The Little Spermaid 2. The Little Spermaid 2, Edward Penis Hands, Bitches of the Caribbean 2. So like it's insane. But then like I think some of the easiest ones are the ones that you get online, and like because it's just like, oh, stepmother fucks son after having Thanksgiving dinner or whatever and all that stuff, and you're just kind of like, okay, well, where's the suspense in this? Like,
are they doing the dishes together? Though? Are they doing the dishes together? Like people are in the other room might be walking in, because that's what I hear is good.
So, Adaline, have you ever had, when you've shown up to a scene or anything like that, like, have you ever walked into a scene and like things just went so far astray that you're just kind of like, what the fuck is happening right now? Is this real life, and is this really happening to me right now?
I wouldn't say like not anything necessarily astray, but I have had one of those moments where like, is this my life? Like, is this my reality? Because I was
right now
too, but I was in the middle of okay, I don't know. I'll try to be like not as explicit. I don't know how explicit I can get.
Oh, you can say, you can be as explicit as you want on this show.
Let it
Okay. So I was filming my scene for Brazzers, and it was with Mick Blue, and it's the bathroom scene, and it's one of the top videos of mine that is just so outrageous. So for one, I get sprayed. Okay, I guess this whole scene actually answers your question and is, part of this. So first of all, when I first got the script, I saw that I essentially had to take a bidet to the face.
So
I'm the son's girlfriend coming. So I'm basically with my boyfriend. We're going home to meet his parents, and I end up fucking my boyfriend's dad.
Yeah.
Is the scene.
Porn.
But prior to all of that happening is I'm with my boyfriend and we're in the bathroom and, we're doing some hanky panky and then he comes all over my face. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like you just came all over my face. What are we going to do now? And he's like, here, I have this bidet. Let's wash your face off with the bidet. And so in order to get the right shot, we actually filmed it a couple times. Not once, but more than once. I don't know how many times. I have this, cum on my face, and I take the bidet. We like essentially spray my face a couple times, and then makeup has to come in and retouch me up, and then we keep shooting. So that was like definitely like the one, but that wasn't really what did it for me. What did it for me in terms of, oh my God, is this my life? Is I'm on top of Mick Blue. He is inside of me. And they're like, hold on. And I think we're about to either resume or we did a quick cut. And I'm sitting there, we're on this bathroom floor, and they're like, hold on. Dirty feet, and they take a baby wipe, and the assistant comes and wipes the bottom of my foot while I'm sitting there with this person inside of me, and someone's wiping my feet. Like,
who knew that was a job? Oh man.
What? So shout out to all of the talent assistants out there for wiping the feet while we are, doing.
And look me up if you have any openings for a foot washer.
So now going back to the bidet. So you said that they had to make your face back up, with the bidet thing, so the whole thing is for you to have the cum washed off your face with the bidet. So did this guy have to just keep on popping in your face to recreate this look? Like, because it's just like 30 times and then do it. And it's just like redo.
I like the tutush sound there.
You would think, but they took it a little easy on him, so he didn't have to pop multiple times.
Poor
But
baby.
Well, don't feel bad, because I've once bideted myself. It wasn't intentionally, but I was drunk in Mexico, and I was so drunk I threw up in both sinks, the toilet, threw up in the bidet, set it off on myself after I threw up in the bidet, and then passed out on the floor right outside the shower. So,
yeah.
So you bidet yourself.
What did you drink?
What did you drink?
Question.
Well, we were at an all-inclusive resort in Mexico.
Okay, say less.
If
it's all-inclusive, you got the drink package, nothing else is needed.
Yeah, there was a drink up there called the El Diablo.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ.
And it was blue Cuaco and tequila.
Oh.
And that's what it was. And I lost count at 9 of those that I drank. And that's not even counting anything else I drank the rest of the day. And I'm surprised I didn't end up in cardiac arrest, because that was just a long night. My other buddy busted a blood vessel in his eye.
Oh, shit.
When he was throwing up. That's how hard he was throwing up.
Wow.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do real quick, there's a lot of people commenting in the thread. So let me the thread a little bit. So, of course, Splike TV, Splike said Luffy's hat was deflating. Poor Luffy. That was when we were talking about the balloons. Of course, Splike said, Jeff, he's digging your shades. And someone was like, what the fuck? Spike was like, what the fuck kind of title is that, to the title that Adaline mentioned? Let's see, some Spaceballs connections there. And then let's see, what else do we have? Jason said he's sorry he's had so much to drink. Oh, well, that's the whole point, Jason. We're the Happy Hour podcast. Drink away, my friend. And then he asked, have you ever worked with Tommy Pistol? So Tommy Pistol is one of his favorite performers. He asked that pretty much everybody who comes on. Have you worked with Tommy Pistol?
I have not, but I think I follow him on Twitter.
Oh, it's on the bucket list. Or the bucket list one.
Jason wants to violently masturbate to you and Tommy Pistol. And I know what he's going to ask next, because he asks this all the time. So I'm just going to cut the head right off the snake. So before Jason has a chance to ask it in the live theme, Adaline, have you done anything with pee? Because he always asks every guest we have, and I'm like, and I asked him because I saw him at Exotica. Shout out to Jason. He hung out with us all night at Exotica. I love the kid to death. We knighted him as our #1 fan at Exotica. It was amazing. That content will be available actually probably next week right here on Roku and Fire TV. Make sure you look out for that. It's exclusive to Roku and Fire TV. You will not see that anywhere else except for there. But yeah, so have you done anything with pee?
I have not. That is not something I've branched
You're like,
out.
that is my no list. That is my
Thank you.
complete
Right.
no. So Jason, I'm sorry, buddy. I know you were going to ask that eventually because eventually it comes through in the thread eventually. And so what I'm going to do real quick. So Adaline, have you ever at any point looked at any kind of strange object and thought to yourself, this needs to be inside of me?
Whoa.
I need to eat this. Like this item, I need to, and not counting food, not counting dick or pussy, like not counting any of that, but just like you look and you're like, oh man, this looks amazing. I think I'm going to eat this. This needs to be swallowed down and put into my stomach. Like, have you ever had those thoughts for anything?
I don't think so. The minute when you're like, have you seen something? And then like, does this need to be inside? Like, this needs to be inside me. I'm like, oh, I'm already starting to think something else. But you mean actually consuming, like eating?
Yes.
No.
Oh my God. All right. So I have a story because we do news articles and all that on here. We're not your basic question answer show. We do a lot of other cool, fun stuff. So I'm going to get into one of our news articles, and we've had a few stories like this before. Like stories like this are actually kind of a little bit of an epidemic. Like people do this all the time. So this one says doctors extract Rockies and nails from Punjab man's stomach. Why do people swallow weird items? And it says doctors in a hospital in Moga were stunned to see when they extracted several bizarre items, including earphones, screws, and more from a 40-year-old man's stomach. Experts have found such a habit could be a case of pica, a disorder in which people eat non-edible things. So it says earphones, lockets, screws, rackies. I have no idea what rackies are. Safety pins, shirt buttons, and zips. These aren't just random items being mentioned, but these are the items that were removed from a man's stomach in Punjab's Manga. And these items didn't find themselves back inside the man by some odd miracle. Doctors revealed that the 40-year-old man had ingested them over a period of time. So what I'm going to do is just to get a little bit of a grasp on this. They have a photo of all the items. These are all the items that they pulled out of this man. This is everything.
Oh no! Oh my God!
Yeah. So imagine walking around. Now I'm guessing Rackies. It looks like it's some sort of like.
There's my wedding ring. There's my wedding ring. Sorry, honey, I found it.
Yeah. So like, imagine having all this inside your. And I can imagine.
This looks like whenever you have a fishing net and you just have a bunch of random stuff like that got caught in the fishing net. That's exactly what that looks like.
Yeah, that looks like the bottom of the Baltimore Harbor, but a little bit cleaner. Like if the bottom of the Baltimore Harbor looked like that, we'd be in good shape. But instead, we have cars, bikes, and all kinds of other debris that's in that sludge.
It looks like a Where's Waldo picture.
Man, Roto-Rooter is not fixing that. Like if that's down in your stomach, there's no way. I don't think you can throw that up. There's no way to regurgitate that. There's no way to shit that back out. Like imagine, like. You look down and there's like screws and all, like just sticking. Like his shit looks like Pinhead at this point. Like what that's like. Like you look down in the toilet. Like so. All right. So let's see what else. Like was there anything else? So it says he ingested them over a period of time. It says doctors carried out a 3-hour surgery on the man and extracted the weird items from his stomach.
Oh my!
It says
operation.
That he came to them complaining of a high fever and a stomach ache. Well, I would hope the fuck he would have a stomach ache. Like what the fuck? So As a part of their investigations, they carried out an X-ray on his stomach, which showed numerous metallic objects lodged inside his stomach.
Oh my God.
It says that they added the objects inside the stomach had been consumed for a long time. The medical staff at the hospital added that the patient's condition was not yet stable and he was being monitored. Oh man, that's insane. Like,
should have monitored him 10 years ago when he started eating weird shit.
And then it has a little bit of an explanation of pica as well. So if anybody wants to know what pica is and what the hell was, My Strange Addiction. So if you
I've seen that show.
Yes.
I've seen it. The most one that I saw was I don't watch that kind of shit. Like I don't, but my family, my aunt, they're into all of that stuff. Like they'll go all in for it, and it's like those are like very clickbaity shows where it's like, oh, I didn't know that I was pregnant, and then like, oh, My Strange Addiction. And I think the one episode that was like, okay, I've seen it, I watched it, and I probably won't watch it again, is this woman who eats toilet paper.
Oh,
that one? She eats toilet paper, and she was like, oh, 2-ply and 3-ply aren't the same. There's the difference. It really is. She's like, I like that crunchy one. So essentially, you're telling me you like the Walmart toilet paper. You don't like the Quilted Northern. You like the crispy Walmart, or like the one that's in the gas stations, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just imagining. She's like, like what? You sit there and you're like, oh, this looks like some tasty toilet paper, and just like, what? What?
Now that you brought it up, imagine being a gas station attendant. All right, Adaline, imagine you're 15. You work at a gas station. You hear commotion in the bathroom. Someone's been in there for a long period of time. You're like, all right, look, we got to get them out of here. You open the door and someone's just down on all fours and they have the toilet paper in their mouth and they're just spaghettiing noodle this shit, just vacuuming the shit just straight down. Hoover vacuuming the shit straight down their throat. Like there's no stopping. Just straight. Like at that point, do you just close the door and quit your job at the gas station? Or do you just go, or do you try to talk this person out of eating this terrible gas station paper that was probably pissed all over by a homeless person?
Honestly, I would just be like, hey, here, do you want me to unlock the toilet paper thing so you can take that to go? Like, that would be my response. Like, here you go, just take it. Have a great day. There's some people who need the bathroom. Like, I just came in here to check on you. Like, just send them on their merry way. Like, not even trying to intervene. Like, here you go, here, just take it. That's what I would do.
Check on them. They then put the plunger through it and they hold it and start eating it like it's a chicken wing at that point.
Oh my God,
like a kebab of some sort.
Like it's like it's some sort of strange toilet paper kebab, like especially if it's like the one with dual rolls. They take the one roll off, put the other, and it's like this strange like toilet paper, and then you're more damaged. You're just kind of like, why did I unlock this? Why is this happening to me? Like, and that show's wild. Like, I have seen some of the episodes, like, and I agree, like shows like that, even like with hoarders, like I just kind of watch them. I'm just kind of, I don't want to watch this. It's weird. But the one that stood out to me is there was a woman who ate her couch. Like she literally like ate her couch and like the foam and her whole entire couch.
So bad for you.
Yeah. And it's like, can you sit on this one? Like, is this woman comfortable at this point? Like, she's eating so much couch foam that it's like, if I sit on her, is she gonna feel like a comfortable couch? Like, is she gonna be like if someone sits there and eats like the beans out of like a bean bag, and it's just kind of like, okay, well, now I have myself a squishy little chair that I can sit on. Like, I don't understand. And like, I'm just thankful, and I haven't seen any of it myself, that there's no weird sexual websites that are dedicated to stuff like that, like an OnlyFans of, hey, watch me swallow nails while I'm naked. Like, no.
Now you gave away the secrets. It's going to be out there tomorrow.
There are some sites out there that do. I mean, most sites have like, if you want to get nerdy and techie real quick, most sites have rules and regulations on what you can put inside you, what length and like girthiness and like circumference and things like that, what kind of objects are permitted and what are not.
Yes. A laptop surprisingly is permitted. And it's just like, wait a minute. A laptop.
I've been dared to do some pretty interesting things. Nothing crazy, but I did have one where the guy was like, I want you to fuck a doorknob.
Wow.
Like, was it a specific type of doorknob?
No, that one right there. That one over there. I mean, you can't see it, but that doorknob over there. He's like, yeah, I just wanna see that. And I mean, like, that's not going to go inside me. Like, some things, might work, but a doorknob, surely, like, that's some mega, like, that's like,
yeah. You're like, there's no way that's going to go inside me. And then they sends you like $1 million, and you're like, all right, I'm going to see if this doorknob now.
Pretty sure it's going to fit.
So was that a OnlyFans request that you got that through?
Yeah, it was. We'll just say that. Yeah, for sure.
Like sites like OnlyFans and all that are like the fucking Wild West.
Yes.
Like, they really are. Like, you have all these people commenting things that are their hidden fantasies that they would never ever ask somebody in person. Like, I guarantee you that if you went home with somebody, they would never sit there and go, "Hey, look, I know you came home with me. I'm not interested in the sex. I want you to fuck that doorknob." Like that's the thing. And it's like, like, I don't know, like, and there may be people out there that are that bold, but I feel like being able to be behind a computer or, something like that there's just more boldness in it. Yes. Now, aside from that, have you had any other strange requests or anything like that?
No, thankfully, like, that's probably the wildest. And I think that's very mild in comparison to what a lot of other models have.
Oh,
They say, like, your vibe attracts your tribe. So my brand is very much like boobs and personality, and I'm warm, I'm bubbly. Like, I love that, and I love to make people feel good. So I'm not too much like into like the whole kink stuff. And I think that once you start to, branch into that realm, you kind of open all those doors. And then I don't know, I'm very thankful for my community and my my fans and my viewers. They don't really ask me a lot of stuff. Like, we're just very much like, we just want to feel good. Like, that's it. That's the agenda.
I also like boobs.
Yeah. I like boobs too.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a crime to not like boobs. Like, I mean, and it doesn't really matter, like, as long as they're boobs, like female boobs, man boobs, whatever. Boobs are boobs. Like, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, that's just like that's almost like saying I don't like pizza. Like, how
ouch.
Like pizza? Like, come on.
Brilliant comparison, though. Not to cut you off, but brilliant comparison.
Boobs and pizza. Okay. Yeah.
I feel a new restaurant coming to the Baltimore area.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, my brain is going, and I'm trying to think, like, I think they're called Breastaurants now. And so it's kind of like Twin Peaks, and like we have one that's called Ojos Locos in Texas, which is like
Tilted Kill.
It's like a whole bunch of it's like the Hispanic version of Hooters, but it's a little bit more rowdier. So like, I'm trying to think if there's any that are pizza based. Most of them are just wings, bar food, and beer.
We might be onto something here.
I like it.
Any that are there's snow cones. There's like bikini girls serving snow cones, but I don't think that there's any that, and there's obviously like coffee places too that do it as well. There's one that opened in Houston recently that was all plus size women at like a hookah lounge bar thing. And so I was like, that's interesting. So there's a lot of combos out there, but I don't think there's any with boobs and pizza. So
that's nice. Like, just hearing the hookah lounge, because like me, I like my women curvy. So like you said that, I was just like, oh, okay, that's that's very appealing. And like even with the pizza, like I feel like it's the kind of thing to where if you could somehow wear the pizza as well, like they come in the door and your attire is like just like really tight shorts and like pizza covering the tits, and that's what. So hold on, let me see something. Let me see.
He's gonna look it up.
I'm gonna look it up. Naked women.
Maybe you get
no pizza restaurant. That's what I Googled.
So
Pizza restaurant.
You get them little white pizza holder stands right in the cleavage, and then lay the pizza on top.
Yeah.
See, nothing comes up for pizza restaurant. It's just asking me local pizza place. It's like, you want a pizza restaurant near you? No.
Delete this episode.
I want a restaurant.
Restaurant. I want a restaurant.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Here's an article right here. So it says 11 restaurants that make Hooters seem PG. So
I need that article.
Let's see. So here it is, Twin Peaks. So Twin Peaks meets sexy lumberjack themed chain is one of the fastest growing restaurants in the country, up to 20% up last year, according to food market research firm Techonomic. Men are simply creatures, so you don't have to get too crazy to get them in the door. Okay, so that's a lumberjack. Tilted Kilt. We used to have one of those
Tilted Kilt,
Maryland,
yep.
Which that was basically everybody
hot.
wearing like kilts and all that stuff like that. Bikini Sports Bar and Grill. So let's see. So that was trademarked back in 2012. The menu covers many restaurant samples: wings, burgers, cheesesteaks, nachos, and for some reason, fried pickles. And they wear bikinis all day long.
Wow.
Ojo's Locos. Right there, Ojo's Locos.
Ojo's Loco.
Yeah. So that's on this list. Bombshells. Bombshells is on here. There's a place called Tallywhackers. While it isn't a restaurant in a traditional sense, it can be argued that the Dallas-themed restaurant has all the same notes: scantily clad servers, plenty of cleavage, and even some are topless, and 3 short shorts while serving bar food. So that's one with men. So men serving food. So
men.
There's Bone Daddy.
Tallywhackers is men, I believe, because it just makes sense. The Tally.
Oh, I've heard of this before. Heart Attack Grill, which has hot women in nurses' outfits, and they're serving like burgers that will give you a heart attack. And their tagline is fighting anorexia since 2005. And the waitresses are in Halloween costumish nurses' outfits. And then there's, let's see, so Wings, Show Me, which kind of looks like it's the same as Hooters, but with different lettering. Cowgirls Espresso. Okay. So there's a handful of restaurants, but there was not a pizza one. There is
strip clubs have full-blown buffets, right?
Yeah.
And it's, you eat free between like 2 and 5, or it's like 50-cent wings during like other off hours, from like 2 to 5, whatever. And I thought that was insane. The first time I heard about that, I was like, wow, they have buffets.
Yeah. I've been face deep in
smokes.
Yeah, I've been face deep in strip club food after a wrestling show. Like literally, really early in the morning. You just got done wrestling. It's like 2:00 in the morning in West Virginia. The place closes at 4. They have food and it's all you can eat. And you're just sitting there just scrounging just food down your face while you're doing that. So no, we need to figure that out. We need to patent this. We need to figure out the first pizza restaurant. Like what pizza theme? Can anybody think of a word pizza wise that we could name a restaurant?
Meat lovers.
Meat love. Okay.
No, they have like a meat lovers pizza. Here's a start.
Yeah.
So we got some recommendations. One is pepperoni nips.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good.
I like that. I like that. Pepperoni nips. What about Rounds pizzas? And it's like a girl with pizza for breasts, but she's wearing a bra over like the pizza, and it's just called Rounds pizzas.
I actually have a photo of me. So I go to Exotica and conventions and things.
We actually missed you at Exotica. It was laid out so weird. Like we saw that you were at the Chatterbait booth. And like by the time we got around and did everything, it was laid out so weird that like I sat there and I looked, and then we left and I saw you post something online from Exotica, and I was like, fuck. I was like, God damn it. Because we were there just for Saturday. And I'm not sure if you saw anything, but we had a shout out to Rob Lee. He's an acrobat that we had going around with us. And he was doing these various lifts with everybody where he was lifting like the girls in all these acrobatic ways and all that stuff. Complete mutant. The dude's a complete mutant. I'm convinced. Like, but no, it's like, it was insane. But no, what were you saying? You have a picture,
I'll have to, it will take some digging, so I'm not going to look for it. But one of the years, Chatterbait, they give you pasties and stuff. And one of them was, they gave us pizza slices pasties.
Oh,
that was
nice.
super cool. And then on one of the days, they actually give us pizza. Chatterbait is great. They feed us all throughout the convention.
Yeah.
So I was eating pizza and I had pepperoni pizza pasties.
Oh,
That was so epic. I'll find the picture or like a video or a snap of it and tag you on Twitter later
definitely.
when we're done, just so that you can see. But so I think pepperoni or like pizza on titties is gonna be a hit for sure.
That's cool. And I guarantee you somebody's gonna see the show and they're gonna steal this idea.
Yes.
And we're gonna see a Pizza Nips somewhere.
Damn
and we're
it.
gonna be like, wait a minute. No. You hear it here. You create a Pizza Nips. As long as you give me free food, I don't care. It's yours. You can have it.
I want to see some nips, get some free pizza. I'm your guy.
Yeah, I mean, but it can't be like, it needs to be a legit restaurant. It can't be like the website Big Sausage Pizza, where like you get there and then they're like, oh, your food's here, and there's just a cock sticking out from the pizza, and it's just kind of like, okay, look, when I said I wanted all of the meats, I didn't mean that I wanted all of the meats. Like,
yeah, I'm dying to recreate the delivery pizza.
Yeah.
We all know it. The dick in a box. They're like, here's your delivery, and you open it, and the dick is right there. I would love that.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that was such a great
fantasy.
series. Big Sausage Pizza was such a great series. But one thing that always bothered me, I don't know why it bothered me, because it's kind of like a equivalent of a glory hole. But like, I've always wanted to see a glory hole or one of those Big Sausage Pizza ones where it wasn't only their dick, but their balls. Their balls were also just kind of flapping around on the box too. Like
the balls to go through the hole too, so a hole big enough for the dick and the balls.
I want to know the skill of how they did it. Like, because it's the kind of thing, it's like, okay, so now you need to maneuver your balls through there, and then you get your cock through there. Like, everything's in there. And then it's like, but at that point, like, does your erection at that point just guillotine your balls?
No, it's like a cock ring. It's like a cock ring. The cock ring goes around the dick and the balls. So the pizza box could, I'd be very uncomfortable. I mean, we could line it with some like cotton, something. We can rig it to be comfortable.
We are giving out ideas that are worth billions here tonight.
This show is an idea factory. Like, that is what we do. We think of very fucked up ideas that nobody will ever do, and we throw them out to the general public for people to hear them and potentially use them, one day. But do not try the pizza thing at home. Like, anybody watching this at home, don't go home and cut a hole and try to put your balls in your dick.
I've been cut by cardboard. Cardboard can cut you. Do not cut your dick and balls on cardboard.
Oh my God.
Look, he winces and looks away.
That's because I can picture it. Oh my God, it hurts just thinking about it.
Someone said, how about mammary meat lovers?
Oh, gross. I hate that. I hate the mammary, or I think one of the terms I got one time, I stream. I'm an online streamer, so I get just crazy, awesome people who come in all the time. They do the wildest things. And one was like, wow, those are some nice calcium cannons. And I was like, oh,
that is amazing. That term
I'm writing that down.
Adaline, what we're going to do later is actually, there's a list of 800 terms for the penis that we've been going through for the last couple of months. We're only on the letter D. So we're going to go through some of those a little bit later, like some of the names. And I don't know who devised this list, but some of the names, the calcium, I got to remember calcium cannons. Like,
message me, bro.
Jeff's I wrote it down. He's like, this is my notepad. Like, Jeff's taking down live notes. Like, Jeff's
always does
ideas down. Well, so Adaline, what we're going to do real quick is we're going to take a quick break. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to play some ads from some of our friends. So if you want to, probably about 3-4 minutes or so, if you want to hop up, use the bathroom, grab something to drink, we're going to take a quick break here on YouTube Live, Roku, and Fire TV. And when we come back, we're going to get into our game segment. So that's always a fun segment that we do, is our array of games. So what we're going to do for everybody watching at home, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back probably in about 4 minutes or so right here on the Happy Hour Podcast, live on YouTube Live. We will see you guys in about 4 minutes.
Hello, this is Janine Jericho, and you are watching the Happy Hour Podcast.
Derek Sharp, the owner of Curtain Jerker Designs, who does an amazing job. I'm blown away every single time, and his speed that he has getting everything back to us is immaculate.
Hit up Derek with Curtain Jerker Designs.
Look no further than Curtain Jerker Designs. Make sure you hit up Derek.
Derek Sharp, man. Hey, just want to say thank you for the posters, all the hard work you put into, man. We really appreciate you, man.
A shout out to Derek Sharp from Curtain Jerker Designs. Yo, dude, just want to say, this poster, off the hook.
Hey, what's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and I want to give a big shout out to my man Derek over there with Curtain Jerkers Designs.
If you are looking for the best graphics, the best designs, look up Curtain Jerker. I did.
Curtain Jerker Designs. That's who I use for any of my graphic designs, and you should too.
Thanks, Curtain Jerker Designs.
Big old shout out to Curtain Jerker Designs. You see that? You see that beauty? That's all you, Curtain Jerker.
Hello, wrestling promoters. The Big Val Boski wants to give you a big tip. If you're looking for a graphic designer to do your next events, promotional posters, hit up Derek at Curtain Jerker Designs.
A lifelong wrestling fan, as we all are. I went through the part with the reffing, and I got to a part where I did ring announcing. I did everything there was to do. I had a match. But because I have that background, that's where I stepped in and said, hey, like, I do flyers. Let me help you guys out.
Mommy, where are we gonna sit?
Well, Daddy booked the rental car. Let's ask him. Hun?
It'll work.
Hey!
What did I say?
What did you say, Dad?
Let's just check Discover Cars.
Get more for your money with discovercars.com and save up to 70% on car rentals.
Hello, I'm Dennis with Checker Spot Brewing Company. We're located at 1421 Ridgely Street in Baltimore, right in the shadows of M&T Bank Stadium. Open 7 days a week with locally crafted beer.
Hey, it's Karina Kova, and you're watching the Happy Hour Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Happy Hour Podcast. Of course, we are live as always each and every week. And of course, Jeff Porrini is with me this week as my co-host, and Adaline Starr is our guest. And what I'm going to do, I forgot about it last week, but we had a beer going out the door, and now we have a new featured beer. So our new featured beer this week is by North Coast Brewing Company, and it is called Old Rasputin. So Old Rasputin. and it is from Russia. So it is a Russian beer, 12 fluid ounce bottles, and it is 9% alcohol
baby.
by volume. So this is some strong shit. So make sure go out, find yourself some old Rasputin, and shout out the North Coast and their beer. So what I'm going to do also, I'm going to get into our featured shot, because I always need something as a chaser for this, because it's fucking terrible. And I hate saying that for something that's featured, but it's absolutely awful. And Jeff, what's coming every time. As I said, I feel like I get a tracheotomy every time I drink this, and that is Bacardi Gold. So for those of you who like Bacardi, do not drink Bacardi by itself. Mix it with something. Don't be an idiot like me and just drink it. So our tradition of pouring the shot over the laptop continues tonight, and we've been lucky for 196 episodes that we've never spilled it on the laptop one time, but we've came close. There's so much alcohol on my floor from things being dropped. It is absolutely insane, but here we go. Cheers.
I can feel the pain. Oh,
man.
Straight for
and Adaline, do you have any go-tos for drinking? Do you drink? And if so, what are your go-tos?
Oh yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see. I do drink not very often, but as far as drinks, I like a good wheat beer. Beer. That's my favorite. I initially started off with porters, and I really enjoyed like a good like pecan porter. Anything like I really enjoyed like those deep nutty flavors. Don't hate me. I
nutty flavors.
Said it.
That's sexy. Porter drinking women are sexy, because porter is the echelon. So
yeah.
So I started off drinking those, and I enjoyed them, and then I enjoy some stouts as well. And then I started moving more into the craft beers, and I went to a beer garden, and they're a really, really well-known beer garden. And they have tons and tons of beers on tap, all from like Texas has a shit ton of local breweries. There's so many from all over the place. Like we're just spoiled. So I went to this place, and it had all of the beers categorized by like a dark like dark, light, yada, 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 right?
Yeah.
So I ordered this one beer that was under the dark, thinking that it's going to be one of the porters or stouts, which is fine with me. And
which actually, this is a stout. What I have is a stout.
Really?
Yeah.
It ended up being a dark sour beer.
Oh, I love a good sour.
Oh my God, I was not prepared. I was like, what is because you see it, and you're so conditioned to drinking porters, which are dark and heavy and delicious. And I go and I take a full sip, and I never had a sour before in my life.
Oh my God.
I never had I was like, oh, what? Like, I did not expect that. So I learned my lessons that just because it's under like the dark beers portion does not mean that it's going to be a porter. It is something else. Wow. So so when I do drink it, I've graduated, I've done porters and stouts, and then I started to branch out more, and I found that I enjoy a good wheat beer. Nothing, I don't do any like too hoppy beer. Ciders just like aren't for me. And then I could go all in. One of my first jobs was I was in management. I did business development for restaurants for 5 years before this. So I did craft cocktail bars, and so I know quite a few things about craft cocktails and some spirits. So I could nerd out all day when it comes to
nice.
I would say
I'm in love.
Go ahead.
Speaking of sours, if you're ever in Baltimore and you saw their commercial here, check out Checker Spot Brewing. I'm not a big sour guy. I can't remember the name of the craft beer that they have there, but it was one of the best sours I'd ever tried in my life. So you like wheat. So I guess you do a lot of Blue Moon, Shock Top, stuff like that. Bud Light, way back when, they had Bud Light Golden Wheat. And that was chef's kiss. That was amazing. I love that. I think Honey Brown has a wheat beer that's out also. That's really good. I just like going to a lot of breweries though, and just trying like their craft wheat beer they have there. So there's a brewery up here called Pools Island that I'm trying to get into for one of our local features. And they were all darker beers. They were all stouts. And they were beers based off of mustaches. And they had like a Wilford Brimley one. They had a Tom Selleck one. They had a Hulk Hogan one, a Raleigh Fingers one, like just based like different flavors and all that. And like my thing is I was so drunk at my work party when we had that I was just like, I want to be able to drink this. And like you become like you spawn that mustache, like you automatically spawn a Wilford Brimley mustache or a Tom Selleck mustache out of drinking that brew. So but what we're going to get into our game segment. So we have a series of games that we play. It's called our Ode to Humanity segment. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with extreme personal questions. So the way extreme personal questions work, there's 2 questions on the card. You don't know either question. There's question A or question B. You're going to randomly choose A or B, and whichever question you get, you answer that, but then you get to choose myself or Jeff to answer the other question that is left lingering. So, Adaline, what do you think? A or B for lucky letter for your random question?
Let's go with B.
B? Okay. So, what would you not want someone to find while snooping through your emails?
Oh, man.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Let's see. I don't know. I mean, like all my business is out there, you know, already.
Yeah.
So it's like, what more is there to give? I'm trying to think if I have anything. Like, I really don't. Like, I have nothing. I'm sorry. All my business is already out there. So.
All right, that's fair. That's fair because that's the thing. It's like, what can people possibly find? So now that leaves question A out into the wind. So now you get to choose myself or Jeff to receive question A. Who do you want, myself or Jeff?
Let's go with Jeff.
All right, so Jeff,
still love
what
you.
happened the last time you suspected you were being lied to? What happened the last time you suspected you were being lied to?
Last
killed
time...
somebody. Don't say that you killed them because that's not
okay. Next feature. No, wow, made kind of a very ugly scene in a bar establishment.
Okay,
and it's nothing. It's not too gritty or grimy. It's pretty legit. Like I kind of made a scene. Little beer got spilled. No fights. No damage. But yeah.
Okay, and you suspected that they were lying to you?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess they brought you out a sour and you wanted a porter, and they were like, no, I'm telling you, it's a porter. And you're like, look, let me tell you something now, you son of a bitch. I know this is a fucking sour, and you're not gonna lie to, and you're choking the waiter, and they're just like, sir, calm down. And then you realize that the sour was just your wife's sour, and that your porter was just on the way out to the table. And you're just like, oh God. I just choked this poor kid for no reason.
That would have been such a better story than mine.
Damn it. All right. So the next game is Never Have I Ever. So Never Have I Ever. It is 3 cards randomly drawn out of the deck. So if you've done it, raise your hand or take a drink. If you want to give an explanation, you can. If not, we will not hate you for it. So the first one is Never have I ever borrowed my roommate's underwear. Never have I ever borrowed my roommate's underwear. Okay, Jeff, I've done some things, but I've never borrowed my roommate's underwear. So, Jeff, do you want to get into it? Your roommate's underwear, would you like to get into them?
No. Well, I would now because my roommate's my wife, but the story is not as nasty as it sounds. I used to live with my brother, and we would take turns doing laundry. I would do laundry. Sometimes I'm like, shit, I'm short. And I would grab a pair of his underwear and slap them on. So my brother's not as bad. My ex-girlfriend's underwear, that's a whole different show and a whole different time. But I did, however, wear my ex's dress. And real quick story, wore my ex's dress. And she was having a bad day. She was in a bad mood. Put her dress on. She started crying. I'm like, what's the matter? She's like, I don't want to have a bad day, but your ass looks better in my dress than mine.
I mean, I wouldn't feel bad. I've worn bras before, but normally there were tits behind me of the bras that they were putting across.
I like
so I was fine with that because the bras normally came off of somebody.
It's much better than my admitting to wearing a dress.
I had a friend who stole a dress from a stripper at a strip club, and then he wore it all night at my friend's house while we were drinking. The next day he ended up with pink eye. And cannot confirm or deny if it was from the dress, but it's weird that he wore the dress all night and then he ended up with pink eye somehow. I
don't think it was the dress. I think the friend was doing something else. Do not blame it on the dress.
Oh, I know what he was.
Your friend was doing something else.
Well, that's the thing. We sat there and razzed him for a week of motherfucker, you wore a dress and got pink eye or whatever.
No,
and all that shit.
there's
Like,
more to
he was
that
rubbing
story.
his face.
Don't blame it on the stripper. Blame it on.
All right, so here's the next one. Never have I ever tried to contact a deceased person. Never have I ever tried to contact a deceased person.
Oh, I don't know. That's tough.
All right, so mine, of course, I've been on numerous ghost hunts before. I'm into the paranormal type stuff. So yeah, I guess that's along that spectrum, along that line.
If we're doing ghost stuff, then sure. Yeah. I thought it was like, you're just like, you hear about people who call their dead relatives.
Oh, yeah.
Their voice
That too. Yeah, I've never done anything like that, but I have. I guess ghost hunts or whatever can be like. It's not the type where I sit there and I go to a grave and I'm like, hey, guess what happened to me today? And then I put my ear against the ground, hoping to hear a voice back or something. I hope to God nobody out there does that. Like someone just goes down there like, hey, Bob, guess what happened to me tonight? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Like, no, because I know you're in pain and you're suffering, you miss your loved one, but don't do that because someone's going to think that you're insane.
Don't do dead people glory hole in the dirt. Do not, please.
Oh my gosh.
Someone just has their dick in the dirt, like near a grave, and you're just like, what's happening? Like, I don't know what quite's going on here. Like, this is borderline. I'm going to get the fuck out of here because there's shit going down. So here's the last one. Never have I ever seriously tried to communicate with my pet to see if I could. So, that's.
Yeah, duh. Like, I talk to my cats.
Yeah.
I have 4 cats and I'm like, like we're going to open the fridge. Can you say fridge? Or like, we're going on, I have a stroller and be like, can you say go outside? And my cats are very vocal. So they meow back to me and we have full blown conversations. Like I'm home. I'm
like that with my dogs all the time. I talk to our dogs like they're people. I don't think it's that way. And by the way, your cats are so damn chill. Like I've noticed them in that couch almost the entire episode.
Yes.
And they haven't moved. And
I thought it was just me. Yeah.
For a second, I was like, are they like stuffed animals? Or like the ones like, oh God.
Hi, Princess. So this is Princess.
Oh, Princess.
This is a rescue baby.
Oh, okay. How long? So she was a rescue. So I guess hopefully she didn't get any kind of abuse or anything like that or.
Oh, what? Sorry.
No, don't be sorry about that. That's
don't be sorry.
You're
about
good.
That.
And this is Buddy. So actually the story was they were babies and they were actually born on Halloween and someone someone went to go throw their trash in these apartments and they heard kittens crying in the dumpster. And so they and they had to like hold off the it was trash day.
They were those heartless bastards that did something like that.
So yeah, and so it was 3 of them. It was this one, the other one, and I have the other. She's somewhere in here. But yeah, they essentially had to hold off the dumpster man and the trash man, and they dumpster dived for the kittens. And the rescue lady was like, yeah, like my car still stunk of like garbage. 2 days later, I had to take them several baths.
Nice.
And Buddy, this is Buddy. He's very vocal. And so I'm convinced that it was Buddy that did the meowing. And do save your sisters, Buddy. So I went and I wanted to adopt just Princess. I saw Princess on a picture and they said, oh, we only adopt out in pairs. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm not doing anything today. Let's just go look. So I go and I look, and then I see that there's 3, and there's 2 cream colored, and there's Buddy who's black and white. And so I'm like, which one, like which 2 do you take? I don't want to leave Buddy behind because he's not, everybody wants cream colored cats. It's just a thing. And I was like, I don't want to leave Buddy behind because he doesn't look like the others. And I don't want to take Buddy and then another one and leave the third. Like, what do you do? So I'm like, what's 2 versus 3? And so I adopted all 3. So yeah.
And I'm looking at the stream very briefly, and Ian said he's worn a wedding dress before. So
wow,
I don't want to get into the deep analogs of the wedding dress of what's going on with that. But no, like that, I don't understand the whole thing with people with pets. And of course, my wife, like, we've had 3 dogs since we've been together. 1 passed a couple of years ago. But it's the kind of thing that when you said you went to look at them, like, that's the thing. Like, I know just from the psyche of my wife that most women, when you go to look at an animal, like looking at it isn't going to happen. Like you're going to look at it, but once you hold it, once it is in your hands, it's all she wrote. That's in game. They're coming home with you because that's the way it worked. Because my wife was like, I'm not sure, when we got our first dog and our second dog, she's like, I'm not sure. And then as soon as they hit her hand, they were in the car and off we went, and we went home with them. And that's how we ended up with them. So
it's kind of like marriage, like engagement. Once mine was in my wife's hand, it was over.
But no, I mean, that's the thing. But I always say to people, of course I had gotten 2 dogs, they were given to us when they were puppies. They had nowhere else to go. But the most recent one we adopted, adopt, don't shop, like go out. There's a lot of good dogs and good cats out there that are older. It's more beneficial. They're pre-trained. So, if you're an animal lover like myself, go out, go to the local shelters, they're overran, pick up a pet, and enjoy yourself. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into our game Incoherent. So this is one of our most popular games.
Need my glasses.
Incoherent, for anybody joining us who's new to the show, we invite back 30 former guests every June on our anniversary, and we do a WWE style Royal Rumble called the HHPod Rumble. We play this game, and everybody gets 30 seconds the first round and 15 seconds the second round with 1 save to answer these cards. If you don't, you're eliminated. The winner gets a custom-made championship belt, which shout out to Johnny Goodluck and Jupiter Jetson, who won 2022 and 2023. I have a guy, of course, I did pro wrestling. He makes authentic championship belts, so I will have an actual legit belt made up sent to you. So, Adaline, what it is I'm going to show a series of cards on the screen that are in drunken lingo. You need to sound them out and try to figure out what they say. 1 of 2 things is going to happen. You're going to get them just like that, or your brain's going to completely shut down. And those are normally the 2 things that happen when we play this game. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and get these ready, and I'm going to get them up on the screen, and you're going to tell me what these cards say. So let me just go ahead and get these ready. So what do you think this card says?
Oh, geez.
A good way to do it, I always tell people, say it fast, but with a Southern accent, and you'll kind of hear yourself kind of say it.
All right.
Oh, man, with a Southern accent. Me, Matt Gound. I don't know. I'm too sober for this game.
One of the hints, and they kind of do videos now. Like they didn't do videos as much, but one of the hints is fuck Jerry. If you know what fuck Jerry is, that's one of the hints. Okay. No. The second hint is prime bathroom entertainment. And you send a lot of you probably send a lot of these to your friends. So the first word is something you probably send to your friends. You probably send, I know I send at least 1 a week. Or probably at least almost 1 a day to people. Wow.
I don't know. This is tough. I'm like, I don't want to play. This is hard.
This is card number 1. Now, Imagine having 30 seconds or 15 seconds to answer these cards. That's
I would just be like, I'm done. I'm done.
Jeff, do you have any idea what this card says?
I feel the word meme is in there.
The word meme is in it. So the first word is meme.
Meme?
So, yeah.
Meme.
So if you were to have memes, but you were to do them on Facebook, it would be a meme what? Like your Facebook or your Twitter or your Instagram is considered a what?
Disaster.
I'm sorry.
You guys both tap out?
Right, yeah, that's tough.
It is a meme account.
Ah!
Wow, that was terrible. That was god awful.
And what do you think this one is?
A fist.
Oh, you've kind of said it.
I got it.
A fist. A fist.
The most memeable show of all time.
Yes.
The Office.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other hint was Michael and Dwight, which would have been a dead ringer.
That's a
most
dead
people
ringer.
would have got. So here's the last one. What
Oh,
do
fuck.
you think this one is?
Fake it till you make it.
Oh my God! Yes, there you
man.
go. Look at that! All right, there you go. See, that's it. There you go. All right, so that is Incoherent. So the next game is Super Fight. So, of course, this game. So normally we have two co-hosts. Tonight it's just me and Jeff. So it's going to be kind of like a handicap match. So we draw a series of cards, and then we argue out who we think is going to win out of those cards. So, Adaline, you get a partner. So you get to choose myself or Jeff to be your partner, and then the other one has to fend for themselves.
I think we're gonna do a pick Jeff today.
Okay.
I'm her
All right, so
partner.
Jeff.
Good night, everybody. I'm leaving.
Hey, Jeff. So she
Oh,
picked you. So now you're going to get the choice of deck 1 or deck 2, which are your fighters.
So basically, you have this beautiful woman here with her boobs looking great, and you want me to make sure I don't let her down. Awesome.
Yes.
I call this life. Let's go with the one on the left. Let's go with the first one.
All right. So first one. All right. So you guys have a senior citizen bowling team wearing one of those cones they put on pets to stop them from licking.
Oh my God.
And has a magical unicorn horn.
That's epic.
Yeah.
That's epic if you ask me.
So now they are going to be fighting my cards, which is Martha Stewart that shoots webs, but is 1,000 years old. So I'm kind of at a disadvantage because Martha Stewart is already 1,000 years old. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go first because I feel very disadvantaged, and also it's a handicap match. So I feel like, so they have the unicorn horn. So, okay, so it's a senior citizen bowling team. So she has that going for them. Probably very easy to break a hip, break an ankle, break a leg, something like that. You know, she shoots webs. You know, she's against, you know, very fragile senior citizens. So I'm hoping that like she can shoot the webs with the velocity to where her own 1,000-year-old arms don't break off themselves, to where like she takes out multiple people at one time. So I mean, I don't know. I think Martha Stewart's losing this, but what we're going to do is Adaline and Jeff, how do you think a senior citizen bowling team that's wearing one of the cones that they put on pets that has a magical unicorn horn, how they're going to beat Martha Stewart that shoots webs and is 1,000 years old?
Oh man, Jeff, if you don't mind, we're just gonna clean this up real quick. The old people win 110%. Have you ever seen the zombie movies? Like nothing stops old people, okay? Like that is the first thing that comes to mind. Is just envisioning, you know, like no matter what you do to the old people, they're already old.
Yeah.
Like what more?
They're resilient. They're very resilient. Yes.
My wife is going to be so upset when I file for divorce because Adaline is like my perfect woman so far.
Thank you. And you know, with I'm super nerdy, and I used to play like games. I played Tekken, if y'all know what Tekken is.
Nice.
Yeah.
So and what I'm thinking is like, you know, when the Martha Stewart shoots her webs, like, yeah, it's like ultra powerful, but it also hurts her at the same time. So her life bar goes down.
Wow.
She uses it. So even though you're knocking out your opponent or you're damaging your opponent, you're even hurting yourself. And so even though we're losing old people, we can just go in and get it. That's what popped into my head. But you did it yourself because you said, I hope that she doesn't break her arm when she shoots.
I set myself up for failure.
If you would not have said that, then I would not have thought that, and your power would not be damaging to yourself.
Maybe I am self-sabotaging myself. That might be what I saw my cards and I was like, I might as well back myself into a corner. But it's funny you said that because over the weekend, myself and my wife actually, we put the money together and got a PS5. And like, speaking of shooting webs, that Spider-Man 2 game, anybody out there, if you haven't played Spider-Man 2, get it. It is fucking amazing. It is a Spider-Man movie routed into a whole game. You're sitting there, a whole 15-minute sequence fighting Sandman while being thrown through a building and rescuing people and all that shit in a whole game. It's insane. So that is Super Fight. So we end our Ode to Humanity segment with none other than Cards Against Humanity. Have you played Cards Against Humanity?
Yes, I have.
All right, cool. So we can't have a deck of cards in front of you. So what we do is we do Cards Against Humanity roulette. So what that pretty much is we draw a black face card, and then we draw 6 random cards out of the deck. And you're going to roulette style, just like the first game, choose a random lucky number, and whatever that card is what the answer is going to be, but you get 2 rebuttals. So if you don't like that answer, you get to choose 2 more. So these are all face down cards that I drew out of the box before we started. So the first one is, well, what do you have to say for yourself, Casey? This is the 3rd time you've been sent to the principal's office for blank. So what do you think? 1 through 6.
Oh, me?
Yep.
Okay, 3.
3. All right. So what do you have to say for yourself, Casey? This is the 3rd time you've been sent to the principal's office for passing a kidney stone. So are you satisfied with that answer, or do you want to rebuttal and choose another answer?
No, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Okay. Like, just imagine that. Like, you're sitting there screaming. They're like, Casey, damn it, you're still here. So we have another one. So this one is, why does my mustache smell so bad?
Oh,
1 through 6. 1 through 6 on why the mustache smells so bad. What do you think? 1 through 6.
Is it me or Jeff?
Oh, it's you.
Oh, me again. Okay, this is fun. I like this. Okay. Let's go with 4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Why does my mustache smell so bad? Fuck Mountain. Fuck Mountain is why the mustache smells so bad. So, are you satisfied with Fuck Mountain, or do you want to rebuttal?
Fuck Mountain sounds great. I'm trying to go to Fuck Mountain. Like, let's go.
Awesome. All right. So
I want to go to Fuck
added
Mountain.
to these. They will go in for the next episode. And so that is our Ode to Humanity segment. So, Adaline, how are you on time? Do you still have a little bit of time to hang out, or do you need to go?
I have plenty. No, you're fine.
Okay, cool.
We're going till 2 a.m.
2 hours or so, but I like to try to accommodate our guests the best we
Y'all
can.
are a hoot. I don't have, y'all were what I was anticipating all day anyway.
Even me? Wow.
I swear. I was telling my viewers, I was like, look, like, I hate, like, appointment setting in general is just like something like I'm like, but I was like, look, I love, I don't like morning appointments because then you have to wake up early, right? And then I don't like evening appointments because you spend all day in anticipation of whatever the event is. And I was like, so catch me at like 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock is like a perfect time. I don't have to wake up early. I don't have to spend all day in anticipation. So I anticipated you guys all day. So
awesome.
I'm happy to stay a little bit longer. If you'd like, we can keep going for sure.
I anticipated the outfit you're wearing all day. all week.
This is one of my favorite dresses. I've been trying to find another one like this. I want like maybe with a different pattern or whatever, and I've worn it for a few scenes, and it's just always a winner. It makes me feel good. It makes everybody else feel good. So.
Yeah.
Making me feel good.
And of course, for everybody watching at home right here, joining us live on YouTube Live, I haven't forgotten about the stream. I try to flip back and forth as much as I can. And I think I believe Jay is from the Pornstar podcast. Shout out to those guys.
Oh yeah.
I've been meaning to bring those guys in the guest co-host. I've been so damn busy. You know, I always say this show is a whole random, you're going to get me, but you have no idea what else is going to fucking happen or who else is going to be here or whatever. And we like it that way. We love the unpredictability. And of course, Jay said Tekken 3, his favorite game of all time. And Splike said he's busy playing Super Mario RPG. So that's a solid one there. My wife is a big Disney Dreamlight Valley girl, and of course we just got the PS5, so I loaded it down full of all kinds of Marvel games, and of course Red Dead Redemption, in which I love hog tying people and then throwing them off of mountains into a river and watching them get eaten by alligators, like just that kind of crazy bullshit that goes down. So Adaline, what we're going to do, we're going to get into another one of our news articles. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into one of a woman who has had 11 kids with 8 different babies' daddies.
Wow.
Yeah. So it says she's got a bevy of babies' daddies and she doesn't care who knows it. A Tennessee woman has hit back at haters who have criticized her for having 11 children with 8 different men, saying she's not ashamed for her unconventional family, which she shouldn't be. I mean, your kids are your kids. It says the Memphis mama, known on TikTok as Fee, is frequently fielding questions about her children's fathers on a social media website where she has clocked up close to 100,000 followers.
Wow.
A viral video back in August, Fee said that there were even advantages to having so many men around. Let me explain it, she said. If you have one and you take away one, you have 0. But if you have 8 and you take away 3, you still have 5. Okay, so she's a mathematician. Okay, I got it.
She lost me. Anytime you start involving math, I'm out.
Yeah. That's right. Me. I'm like, you know what? I was in 12th grade. I was in consumer math. I didn't even go into algebra or anything like that. I was in the slow kids math. That's the math I was in 12th grade.
Right?
Yeah. And she said, if I had only one baby daddy and he happened to leave or die, my kids would be fatherless, she said. But if I have 8 and 3 were to leave or die, my kids would still have 5. Wait,
we've got a scholar on our hands.
They still have 5 dads. Like,
it makes sense in her head, and that's what matters. So
just say she found 8 good dicks and ended. Come on.
So this is her.
I agree.
So, and I don't know, maybe I feel like her eyes aren't real. Like she looks like she's like AI generated. I don't know. Like, I mean, I love the tattoos. I'm all tatted up myself.
Yeah,
so my wife has tattoos. Like, I've always been in the girls with tattoos or whatever and all that. But she says she has not disclosed the name or ages of her 11 children, and her own age is not known. So, I mean, she's pretty much got Stargate going on at this point.
I'd throw her a knife baby daddy.
Yeah, I mean, she just sits there. And children just walk out. Of a 12-year-old just stargates out of it.
I don't know why an article like this is so taboo. But who is it? It's not Chris Rock. It's Chris
I know exactly who you're talking about. The guy from America's Got Talent. Oh,
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon. Yeah, Nick Cannon.
Right.
So like I was about to say, she should probably meet Nick Cannon. Could you imagine if they combined families? Like his kids and her kids. You have like 19 children running around.
God.
But I look at it like this: like the kid amount isn't an odd thing, because my mom comes from a family of 10. like
Wow.
10 kids.
Yeah.
So, way back in the day, like higher numbers of children were kind of the thing. Like, those big Victorian houses with like 900 kids running around. But I think more so nowadays, it's just weird. But I don't know, the 8 babies, daddy. So I don't know. And also knowing if it's a TikTok thing, part of me kind of calls sham / bullshit, because we all know that we can believe anything that we see on TikTok, because that's just the whole fact of the matter with TikTok.
You guys remember those shows that were like me and like my 8 kids and
Yeah.
like
Octomom.
Octomom.
And there was another one, and it just showed them in like their daily life, and they
Somebody and Kate plus 8 or something like that.
Kate plus 8.
Kate plus 8.
That one, and then do y'all remember that movie Cheaper by the Dozen?
Yes.
I enjoyed that movie. That
wasn't Chandler? I believe Chandler was in that, correct? Wasn't he in Cheaper by the Dozen as well?
I think so.
Yeah. Before he drowned in his hot tub, he was in that, I believe. Like
I don't know who that is.
Matthew Perry. Friends.
From
Friends. Chandler from
Oh,
Friends.
yes. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
somebody said, my God, that would be the ultimate Brady Bunch.
Yes, that is very true. It is the ultimate Brady Bunch. And I mean, like, that's the whole thing. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't have kids. I'm annoyed when I'm around one child, much less if I'm around like 8 children. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, part of me is good with kids. Like, I don't like babies, because I don't know what to do. I'm like, babies are very fragile. But like, if the kid's like 2, 3 years old,
turn them
and they're old enough to like beat my ass, like I did pro wrestling for 20 years, so I have a lot of kids just whoop my ass like all day long. Like that's just the way I am. So, but, oh yeah. So Spike said that he's 1 out of 7 kids. His father is 1 out of 9 kids, and his mother is 1 out of 13 kids.
Wow, 22 uncles, bro.
You're in the thread. So in the thread, let me know, does everybody get together on the holidays? So Thanksgiving just passed. So were all those people in one collective place at one time? Because that is a big family. Like my grandmother, as I said, had 10 kids. Right before she passed, she had about 13 grandchildren. So when we would get together on the holidays, that was a lot. Like, she's been gone for like 20 some years. So we were all super young when that happened. But, I still have the memories of having all those people in the house. And Adaline, what about you? Like, so of course you have your family. So do you have like a really large family, or do you have kind of like more of a smaller, like kind of sheltered down type family?
I'm Mexican.
You're like, what do you think?
Come on in. The whole room just fills.
Yeah, so I have a lot of cousins, and it's so funny because like my grandma, she was, I think maybe 9, somewhere between 9 and 12. I'm not sure. I don't know all of my great uncles and great aunts. Like there's just so many, and they're so spread out all over the place. But as far as like immediate, so yeah, I have quite a few, and then all of us are girls, and there's out of all of my cousins, there's like 9 girls and like 1 boy, and we call him Bubba. And so Bubba is like the baby. So he's, he lives with my grandma, and he's got it made. Him and I are both the same age, and he's just like, he's living his best life. Like he's got granny's cooking, she does the laundry. Like I told my grandma, I said, look, I'm gonna get an RV camper and move in your backyard. Like I'm ready. Like
yeah. And then she goes, I'm not doing all that for you. I'm doing that only for Bubba. That's
right. So yeah, I have a pretty big family, and my cousin, she just brought her girlfriend home to meet the fam for Thanksgiving. But before that, she came over to my house to meet me, and I had just freshly fractured my foot, and I didn't have crutches. I didn't have a boot. I didn't have anything yet. And so my house is fairly small, but I still need to get around. So I was like using my rolly chair, like this rolly chair, and then my entire house, like scooting through my house on hardwood, because the rest of the house is hardwood floors. And so I'm getting around my house in a rolly chair. So her girlfriend's like sitting there, and then, I had opened the fridge and I think I started like eating something while the fridge was still open and I'm sitting in this rolly chair and then we've got the TV going and then we've got like my cats playing and she's like, I'm just so overstimulated. She's like, there's so much going on all at once. And I said, you think this is bad? Wait till you go to Thanksgiving. It's going to be like this times 10. So just like, this is a good warm up round for you.
I mean, look at the bright side. At least she didn't show up and she walks in and she comes into your house and you're just sitting there with your fractured ankle and you're sitting in your chair and you're just like mid deep through a roll of toilet paper. You're just eating and you're like, what from me? Like just sucking it down, just boom. And like, imagine that as a first impression. Like, but no. So how did you fracture your ankle? You've mentioned it a couple of times. How did you manage to fracture your ankle?
Movie scene.
It's not a cool story. It's really not. And everyone's like, oh, you know, like, was filming so rough for you that you fractured your ankle? Like, you know, everybody's asking me that.
Fucked me so hard it fractured my ankle and had nothing to do with my ankle.
I gotta meet that guy.
No, I actually was crossing the street and I didn't realize how deep the curb, how high up the curb was. And so when I stepped down, my right foot went down and then my left foot like essentially went underneath me and all of the weight went onto the, you know, the outside of my foot. And so this bone, not this bone, but this bone on my foot just kind of cracked inward. And so that's how I fractured it, was just 26 and crossing the street. That's life.
When you first said this bone, I'm thinking, wow, that's impact.
And you said 26 and touch. So you're 26, I guess. So I'm 38. So let's look at it this way. I sprained my ankle probably around your age. I sprained it at work and I went to go to a doctor to get looked at. Mind you, I did pro wrestling. I've done pro wrestling. 20 plus years I did pro wrestling. So at 26, this was 12 years ago, I go in, get my ankle looked at from rolling my ankle at work. And the doctor's looking at the x-rays and he's like, can I ask you a question? Do you do like any kind of contact sports like football, you know, something like that? I'm like, well, yeah, I do pro wrestling. He's like, you have more bone fragments and arthritis in your ankle at 26 than I see on most 40-year-olds. And mind you, I'm 38. I have yet to have anything done to that ankle. Both of my ankles are at the point that if I don't pay attention to how I'm walking, I'm literally rolling them. Like last year, I was just walking down the road in DC and I rolled my ankle and cracked my phone. But I'm the type of guy that as soon as we got to DC, I rolled my ankle. I should not have walked on it. I walked 12 hours on that ankle in DC because I have the whole wrestler mentality of, are you hurt or are you injured? Because if you're hurt, you're going out there and you're wrestling your damn match. If you're injured, you need to go to the hospital. And that's just the way it works. So my knees, my back, you know, everything, like a lot of stuff has healed up since this is how I got this. I do this now because I learned how to talk. I learned how to, you know, kind of work a crowd, you know, be able to talk to people, be able to entertain still. And I'm like, this is my avenue of doing that aside from pro wrestling. That's why we go live, because I'm like, hey, I learned from wrestling. Okay, we forget all the spots we're doing in the ring. Okay, we need to improvise because we're live. There's no scripts. So that's why I do the show for anybody tuning in for the first time. That's why we're live every week, because that's what I know is live. So, but yeah, I mean, it's crazy that, you know, rolling an ankle, like it's just that easy, literally like that. Like you can just sit there and breathe there and just, oh God, like,
it's terrible. It's very scary, you know, and it's just like, very much like, don't take your mobility for granted, for sure. Like that's it. That's my only key takeaway. If you don't take anything away from this, don't eat toilet paper and don't take your mobility for granted. Okay.
I think we got it.
Yeah. And of course, shout out to Splake in the live thread. He said Ray is 38. He said looking good. Thank you, my man.
Wow.
I appreciate that. So you know,
I look good for 80.
Yeah, I was like, I look good for 80. And of course,
look good for 80.
You tuning in on our YouTube stream. for anybody watching us on YouTube, Roku, on Friday TV, of course, we go live every single week. So we are monetized on YouTube. We have a tier system for our YouTube to be able to subscribe. Our top tier is $24. And what that gets you is that gets you any item of your choosing out of our shop, whether it be a t-shirt, hoodie, pillow, whatever.
Adeline's phone number.
But it also gets you the opportunity of being eligible to come on and join us on any episode of your choosing. So let's say in the future we have Adaline Starback and you really want to talk to Adaline and you're like, hey, I want to do that episode. You are eligible for doing that. As long as you come on and you're cool and you're not disrespectful, because I will boot your ass and keep the $24. That's
somehow I hang in.
You can come on and hang out with us for 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more on any episode of your choosing. So make sure to subscribe to our tier system. We don't make any money off this. I wish I said I could, but I wish I said I did. But just like 20 years of pro wrestling, I ain't made shit. So I just do this for fun. So Adaline, what we're going to do is, of course, I mentioned earlier, we found a list that was developed of.
I'm excited for this.
What's that?
I'm excited for this.
Yes. 800 terms for the penis. So let me get down to where we were, because we've started at A and we're in D. So where did we leave off last week? So
we left off with the D. Good.
All right. So last week we left off with donkey. We left off with donkey last week. All right. So we're starting. So the next one is a doorknob. A doorknob. So
how ironic.
Yeah. A doorknob, which
no way.
Coincidentally,
there's no way.
Donkey, doorknob, literally number 158, because last week was 157. Doorknob. And then so I guess I don't know, how would your dick be a doorknob? Like I guess I don't know, like, because it goes in and out, but it doesn't really like turn like a doorknob.
It's not about the turning or the movement. It's about like a chode. You know, it's so thick and fat that it's like
okay.
Yeah, the irony of this is unbelievable. Stubby.
And then the next one after that is dope stick. A dope stick. So I guess someone goes, hey, look, I have a dope stick. So Adaline, so if you go home with someone and they go, hey, you want to see my doorknob? What if they say, hey, I have a dope stick? Would you like to have it? Like, I mean, are these words that you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm fucking this guy tonight? Like, I mean, like are those like, are you just kind of like, nah, bro, I'm sorry, this isn't like.
The doorknob for sure. I'll be like, let me see that doorknob, baby. Let me see that doorknob. You know, but with dope stick, I just feel like they would be ripping off that song, I've Got the Magic Stick.
Oh, yes.
That's what I think of.
Well done.
Magic stick. Like, I would much, prefer you say magic stick.
So, all right. So after that is dork. A dork. So I don't know. I would never call my dick a dork. Like, I feel like someone grabs their dick and they point at it and they're like, you're such a fucking dork. Why did you do this? You're a dork. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Y'all want a girl's perspective on that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course we do.
So dork could be pretty hot because some dorky guys have got some schlongs, okay?
I've got a room full of Funko Pops.
I swear.
I'm a dork.
Well, that, but also you get the Big Bang Theory effect, because that guy was like the biggest dork, and my favorite actress in the world, Kaylee Cuoco, was very into him. So yeah, that like that's my hall pass. Like, Kaylee Cuoco is definitely, like, I love Kaylee Cuoco. But no, if you think of Big Bang Theory, they were all dorks, nerds, all that stuff. So the next one is Dormouse or Dormouse or DORMOUSC. Dormouse.
Dead mouse.
Yeah. What is Dormouse? What the fuck does that even mean? All right. So DORMOUSC, Dormouse. So when I look up Dormouse, it says a rodent. So I guess somebody is calling their dick a rodent. I don't.
Well,
that's all I see when I look up dormouse or dormouse or whatever it is, however the fuck it's supposed to be pronounced. I'm very bad at English. I'm very bad at everything. You know, it's showing a mouse, so I'm not sure if I want to consider my dick a mouse. Like I guess maybe it's just small like a mouse and it can fit in the small crevices. I don't know.
If you think about it, not to interrupt and jump stage here. So if your dick is a mouse and the female anatomy is pussy, so of course pussycat, the pussycat's always chasing that mouse.
Yeah. Okay. That's a great analogy, Jeff.
No idea where it came from.
No, I mean honestly, I was like, man, you lost me with the whole door, you know, whatever mouse. But thank you for connecting the dots. I really just kind of rounded it out.
And I got to send this real quick. This is Big Bang Theory Funko Pop Penny as Wonder Woman. You remember that?
Nice.
You remember that episode where she dressed as Wonder Woman?
Yes,
so
I do. I do remember that episode. I've had some enjoyment out of that episode. Like I do remember that episode highly. So the next one after that is Double Barrel. Double Barrel.
Thank you.
So, I mean, I don't know. Like I've seen. So I guess if you have a Prince Albert and you have the hole, does that make you a double barrel, like a double barrel shotgun? Like,
my God.
Is that how that works? Like, I don't know. Is that, was this term created by someone who has a Prince Albert and took it out and they have that like hole where like that makes them like a double barrel shotgun at that point? Like, Adaline, what do you think? Like, what do you think?
It might be relating to being uncircumcised.
Oh, that's
what I think
good.
of when I see double barrel, because it's essentially like a lot of I don't know how best to explain it, but you know, like it's like double the dick because there's so much skin, you know, like it's all I just think, you know, when I see an uncircumcised dick, right, you know, I see a picture of it, there's just so much, it looks like double layered, you know.
Yeah.
So,
well, when I see one, I instantly think of Tremors 2 or the sandworm from Beetlejuice. Like that's exactly I instantly think of Tremors 2. So anybody out there that's a horror fan, I think of Tremors 2. So the next one is Double Dragon, which by the way was a great game growing up. I loved Double Dragon. So Double Dragon is next. So I mean, I don't know. Like I've heard some guys consider their dick a dragon, and maybe that's the same thing. Like they're uncircumcised, and you know they have to peel back like their dragon shedding its skin to get to the other dragon. I don't know. So, and then after that is downstairs department. Like, okay, I'm sorry, that is not the department I'm dealing with. You need to go to the downstairs department for me to solve
all
this.
Ladies need to go to the downstairs department.
I say, you know, for me, I very much allude to things. My viewers can attest to this, is I very much allude to stuff. I don't really try to say things, you know, like outright or explicit. So I would use the downstairs department, or like, you know, like that is something that I would really use. I swear I would. Like I may have, you know, just like, you know.
Yeah, you're dating someone from the department store and you're like, you're being promoted to the downstairs department tonight. So for those of you with department store boyfriend or girlfriends, you can use that term. I would let you have that. You get a lot of useless shit you can use on this show, and that's one of them right there.
Like calcium cannon. It's locked in for life. It's on the notes.
All right. So after downstairs department is drain pipe, which that makes sense. A drain pipe, that makes sense. So you're draining your pipe. That's pretty reasonable. And then after that is driller. The Driller. Like I feel like that's a bad wrestler name or a bad like Marvel villain name. Driller. Like
He-Man vibe there.
Yeah.
I'd be attracted to it. I'd be like, let me see this driller. Like, show me. But I'm the type of, I like that cockiness. I like that. Like, be extra. Like, go all out. Like, fuck yes. You know, like, show me that driller. Like, what the
This thing better be like a dick saw.
I'm trying to get fucking drilled. Like, come on now. Like, you're trying to drill some stuff. I feel like the drillers.
I feel like the drillers are the farthest thing from drillers, though. Like, I think that, like I feel like driller is just more of a gimmick than, and then the last one. So this will put us at 10 different ones. Drumstick. So the drumstick. So I don't know if they're meaning drumstick. Like everybody's seen a drumstick that like drummers play and all that. That, you know, very thin with like the thicker head on the top. Like that might be what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But also, there's the drumstick ice cream, which I love. The ice cream with the chocolate on the top with the vanilla and like the crunchy cone and all. Like you tell me, I'm eating the shit out of that drumstick. Like that's it. You whip that thing out and the head's covered in chocolate with nuts or whatever and all that. And it's like, all right, you know what? Here we go. Yeah, let me eat this drumstick. Like this is the way it's gonna work. Like.
I thoroughly enjoyed Jeff's reaction on that one.
Yeah.
I often, and of course, Jeff, shout out to Jeff's show, The Yo Show. You know, make sure you check it out right here on Roku and Fire TV as well, right here on PodNation TV. His show is kind of like ours, but it is not as vulgar. And they do not have an unusual character like myself on there, but make sure you go over, make sure you check out Jeff's show, The Yo Show with him and Jewel. I was actually on there a couple of weeks ago. Very fun. I think I damaged his co-host.
You sure did.
To where she's still recovering. But yeah, that's just the way it works. So what we're doing is, of course, we're kind of getting a little bit close on time. We're approaching the 2-hour mark. So Adaline, where can everybody find you? I always advise don't give out your address because
damn it,
that stirs up so much trouble that like I hope you have a Ring doorbell because you'll just look and you'll just see someone like I think she lives here. I think I don't know. Like yeah.
Is this the place?
Well, let's just say I live in Texas, so that should answer any questions that anybody has when it comes to that.
Come on to my house.
Right. You're getting
double barrel, baby. But no, you can find me at adalinestar.com, myname.com. And then also my Twitter is at beauty_busty. I started off as a cam model. My cam model name was Busty Beauty. And then once I reached out and branched out into pro porn, I did Adaline Star and then I changed everything. But my Twitter is still at beauty_busty. And Twitter's the safest platform right now even though all the nonsense is going on, that platform still allows me to flash my tits and do things.
And you know what? We were able to rise to the level that we've been at. Thanks not only to everybody who tunes into the show every week and enjoys the show, but also Twitter, because that's the thing. Reshare from someone like Adaline or Reagan Fox or, something like that does wonders. It goes all over the place, Instagram, Facebook. They've plugged us for so much stuff. They don't allow us to be us. And I'm just kind of like, I'm one of those ones that it's like, hey, sex is out there. Everybody has sex. Every living thing has sex, regardless if you're gay, straight, trans, whatever, or an animal.
Animal, mineral, yeah.
Unfortunately, fish don't enjoy that nonsense, but some do. But that's the whole thing. But no, as I said, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Let me check the live stream.
Wait, so if fish don't have sex, how do you explain caviar? Because isn't that like fish eggs?
Oh, that is true. That is true.
Yeah, man, I'm making people think way too fucking much. I apologize to all the viewers.
And Splike, he said, Ray, will you have a wrestling talk show soon? I would love to, but just kind of like this show, there's so many other shows like it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was in the industry, I give my opinions a lot on this, but I'm one of those ones that I don't want to talk about wrestling if I'm not physically wrestling. I wake up every single day and think about being a wrestler. So, that's the whole thing. I've always said that the man leaves the wrestler never leaves the man. I will die as Chase Rawlings, which was my gimmick. But that's the whole thing. So yeah, I don't see anything like that happening, but we will be here just like we are every week, sometimes twice a week. We will be back right here on YouTube Live Roku, and Fire TV next week. Jeff, I think you're going to be joining us because someone we have coming on was on your show before, model Danica Wild. She will be joining us right here on the show. And of course, just like October, we will be bringing back Smash or Dash. Of course, last week we had, or last month, which was the month of October, we did 15 of the most grotesque horror villains in Smash or Dash, which is basically like, would you fuck this person or would you not? Michael Myers won that with flying colors. Poor Tarman from Return of the Living Dead, he didn't get much love. So, but we will be bringing it back in the month of December, and it will be the 12 Smash or Dashes of Christmas. So that will start this coming Friday, December 1st, and run all throughout December. And then hopefully we'll start getting things together and announcing our January schedule. December is all locked in stone. And Adaline, this was great. I always tell guests, if you ever want to come back, let me know. We can bring you on, have you guest co-host, hang out with some of our other guests and laugh and just have a good time. Doors always open. We're an open book show or an open door show. Anytime you want to come back, let us know. I'm always in need of having whoever show up with me and just do the show and hang out. So
you're awesome. You are both vibrant. You both know how to have a good time, and I've enjoyed it. Y'all been great.
Awesome. Thank you.
So I'm going to leave you my address then.
Just like I'm gonna write mine down real quick. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up here on YouTube Live and on Roku and Fire TV. And Adaline, would you be able to hang out for 1 minute when we conclude? Sure. Awesome. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and conclude here. As I said, make sure you find us on YouTube. Of course, www.youtube.com/happyhourtvmd. Click the subscribe button at the bottom. Subscribe to our tier system. You could pretty well come onto the show, hang out with us, talk to a guest, and also make sure you find us on Roku and Fire TV through PodNation TV. All of our content, we have a barcode. Make sure you scan the barcode. Jeff's show is over there as well. Support local, smaller podcasts. That's why this network exists, because anybody like John Barenthal or Adam Sandler or whoever can start a podcast, have 1 million followers easy. Us, we're hustling and bustling and just trying to make it, and a network like this helps out. So make sure you go over find that. So of course, I'm Ray. Jeff, man, pleasure as always. Adaline, this has been an absolute fucking blast. We would love to have you back in the future.
Thank you. Absolutely.
All right. So, of course, for everybody watching at home, this is the Happy Hour podcast. This is going to end our episode for this week, and we will see you guys next week, as always, right here on the Happy Hour podcast, 100% live as